Wonderful, honored people, welcome. Good to have you here. It is a joy and a blessing for you to be here with us, and we say thank you.
I'm thankful to be here.
This is a day that we have to bless the Lord, and bless Him we shall, for He has done great things. He has done marvelous things.
Yes,
He has done great things. Danny J.
What has, maybe we've all sort of grown up hearing the expression, what have you done for me lately? Well, I just want to answer this with respect to Christ. What has He done for us? Now the lately part we'll get into later, but let's just take a moment and review a couple of things that our Lord has done on our behalf. First, Christ suffered the wrath of God for us. The Bible teaches that God is angry with humankind because of His nature, which is to hate evil and to judge sin the way a judge in a law court will judge against the violation of an ordinance. God's anger is not uncontrollable, irrational, or a selfish emotion, but is a result of His holiness and His righteousness and His love for all that it is good. You can't love good in an absolute sense without having a right and holy hatred of evil. So since all men are guilty of sin, they deserve God's wrath. However, in love, Christ took the cup of God's wrath that we deserve, and He drank down every drop until it was completely depleted. And the justice of God against us was fully, completely, and forever satisfied. Christ died in our place. And we know that God approved of the death of Christ in our place. For the Scriptures prophesy that that was what the Messiah had come to do. And the events and testimony of history gives us God's stamp of approval. For after Christ had been crucified and was dead and was buried, on the third day came an unmistakable signal and show of God's power and support for the mission, for the work of Jesus Christ. God raised Him from the dead. And this is the most significant fact of history. The resurrection is proof that Jesus is the Son of God. You know, one of the things that many non-believers will say today is they'll say, if someone ran around today making the kinds of statements that your Jesus was alleged to have made, you'd lock him up as a crazy man. Well, my friends, if someone ran around today making the kinds of statements that Jesus did, sacrificing Himself and then being resurrected on the third day, that would be an awfully impressive set of things to do. Anybody can make statements claiming to be God claiming to have eternal knowledge. But Christ has backed it up with the resurrection. The resurrection is proof that God accepted Christ's death as a full payment for our sin. And the resurrection is proof of the believer's future resurrection. So what happened to Christ is not just academic to us. Oh, that's nice. Oh, good, he rose from the dead. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. No. Every single person in this room, unless the Lord has another plan, every single one of us will one day face death. And I want to tell you right now, I can improve my position today. If I have a headache, if I have a cough, if I'm not feeling well, I can still maybe do something in my own power to make things better. Maybe I can take medicine. Maybe I can work. Maybe I can go out and take a walk and get the blood flow to improve my circulation. I can do something to affect my condition today, no matter how sick I am. But the day after my death, I'm not going to be in any position to improve myself. I'm going to be dead. And that finality is inescapable for all of humankind. And so the resurrection, having an applicability, having a promise for me, having a promise for you, is that when you are lowered into that cold ground, that is not the end. And a power greater than the power that puts you in that ground is one day going to take you out of it. Wow. What our Lord Christ has accomplished on our behalf. Let's take a moment and worship God in the reading of some psalms, declaring His love, counsel, and covenant to us.